Is a lack of creativity stopping you from getting that tech job? Today, I'm going to walk you through how creativity can help you stand out from the competition in 3 main ways. The first is how you can build creative tech projects to boost your resume. The second is how you can interview in creative ways to impress hiring managers. The third method is how you can take a creative approach to applying for tech jobs and standing out from all the other applicants. We're going to talk about the creative strategies you can implement today to become the kind of candidate that tech employers are looking for. But first, let me tell you why a lack of creativity in your job search is a problem. Did you know that 99.9% of tech beginners all do the same thing to try to land that first cloud job? They follow the same tutorials, do the exact same projects. How's your resume supposed to stand out if you've done exactly the same projects as hundreds of other applicants? And the recruiter doesn't know who to choose. The key to attracting the attention of tech recruiters is making sure that your resume is better than all the other candidates. This is pretty difficult to do when the projects on your resume look identical to all the other candidates. I don't want this for you. Hi, I'm Fayomi, and I'm a senior solution architect with over 7 years of experience in the cloud industry. I'm also the creator of Cloud Career Mentor, and my goal is to help aspiring tech professionals get well-paid jobs in the cloud industry through high-quality online courses and mentorship. Before we dive into this video, I want to actually give you the definition of creativity. Creativity is defined as the use of imagination or original ideas to create something. Let me repeat that. The use of imagination or original ideas to create something. I want you to bear this definition in mind as we go through today's episode. The first way creativity can help you break into the tech industry is by learning how to build creative tech projects. But before we talk about that, we need to first talk about what not to do when building tech projects. Listen to this and let me know if it sounds familiar. Let's say you decide to learn Python, like the Python programming language. So you go on YouTube, find a tutorial on the basic commands, you learn all about integers, strings, loops, if statements, functions, all the good stuff. You feel like you're starting to get into the hang of things and you notice a YouTube video suggesting how to build a to-do app with Python. This sounds great, so you follow along with the tutorial. And once you complete this tutorial, you see another suggested video on how to build a blog with Python. This also sounds great, so you follow that tutorial as well. This process takes you about a month or 2, and even though technically you've built some cool projects, you still don't feel comfortable with Python, and you don't feel like you've made much progress. You don't feel confident. There's actually a term for this, and this term is called tutorial hell. This happens when you get stuck in an endless loop of following tutorial after tutorial without feeling like you're making significant progress. Even though you feel like you're doing all the right things, you don't feel like you're making any progress. When you're stuck in tutorial hell, it can feel frustrating and discouraging because you feel like you're putting in a lot of effort, but you're not making much progress. There's only one way out of tutorial hell, and that way out is through a sprinkling of creativity. Here's what I mean. After you learn the basics of Python and you followed 1 or 2 tutorials to build some simple projects, your next thought should be, what's a cool product that I can build that I would actually find useful to use? For example, can you create a new social media app? Can you create software that can be used to book dentist appointments? Can you create a script that can organize your cluttered and messy desktop files into neat, well-labeled folders? The world is your oyster here. You can use your imagination and creativity to come up with a solution to a problem you experience and use your new tech skills to solve that problem. When you come up with a project like this, you still need to use tutorials to help with the build, but you'll find that your idea has features that a generic tutorial just doesn't cover. This means you have to research other solutions and troubleshoot issues that come up, and this additional research and troubleshooting is what will help make you a better and more confident engineer. Now here's the thing, will you experience hours of frustration when you face errors that will be difficult to fix? Yes. If your project is ambitious enough, will you eventually fail to complete it? Probably, but none of that matters. Just the fact that you thought about something new and put in the work to make it happen will put you above 90% of all other candidates who simply blindly followed along with tutorials. The reality is that when you're following along with someone else's tutorial, you're not really getting challenged. They figured out and fixed a lot of the common pitfalls and errors, which means you won't get the chance to practice your troubleshooting skills. Wanting to build interesting tech projects by following along blindly with someone else's tutorial is the equivalent of wanting to build some muscle by getting a personal trainer and spending all your time watching them lift weights. If you want to build muscle, you need to learn to lift your own weights. Just like how if you want to build interesting tech projects, you need to learn to come up with your own ideas. To summarize, not only will using your creativity to come up with new project ideas help to improve your technical skills and confidence, it will also help your resume stand out from other candidates because you'll be able to talk about projects that other candidates haven't done, and this will help you stand out to tech recruiters. Now that we've talked about how a little bit of creativity can help you to create interesting tech projects, let's move on to talk about how creativity can help you to interview in a way that impresses hiring managers, so they have no choice but to offer you that job. But before we do, I have a quick question for you. Have you ever considered getting a job in the cloud industry? Do you feel frustrated because you feel overwhelmed by all the technologies you need to learn and are not sure just where to begin? Well, I've got good news. I've created a free guide called The 3 Simple Steps to Your First Cloud Job that will walk you through exactly what you need to do to get a well-paid job in the cloud industry. In this guide, I walk you through the simple plan you can follow to improve your chances of securing that cloud job offer. The free guide has helped hundreds of people from all over the world, and I'm sure it will help you too. Make sure you download it now. Link is in the description below. Let's get back to the show. The second way creativity can help you break into the tech industry is by applying a bit of creativity to your interview technique. Now, you might be wondering what creativity and interviewing have to do with each other. How does creativity help you become a better interviewee? Let me break it down for you. Most applicants who are interviewed by tech employers usually give generic answers to interview questions. For example, let's say you got an interview with Tesla, just as a random example, and the hiring manager asks you a question like, "Why do you want to work for us?" Or, "Why did you apply for this position?" When faced with a question like this, most tech beginners give generic answers like, "I applied because I wanted to work for a well-known company." This answer is problematic because it doesn't show that you're interested in the company or its mission and values. Employers generally want candidates who know what the company does and are passionate about contributing to that company. Here's how you can take a creative approach to answering that question. Before the interview, you need to make sure you've researched the company as much as possible. What's the company's mission? What products or services do they offer? Have they won any awards recently? Once you do your research, you can then weave what you found creatively into your responses. A bonus method of creatively answering a question like this is making sure you understand what skills and technologies they're looking for in the job description. Let's go back to the initial interview scenario to compare a generic answer to a creative answer. The scenario is that you're interviewing at Tesla and the interviewer asks, "Why do you want to work for us?" The generic answer will be, "Apply because I want to work for a well-known company." Now let's look at what a creative answer would look like. I applied to Tesla because I believe in your mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. I am passionate about the environment and sustainability, and I want to contribute to a greener world. Also, when I read the job description, I knew I had to apply because I have worked with a lot of technologies you're looking for. I've worked with AWS, Python, Terraform, blah, blah, blah. And then you can go ahead and talk about some of the projects you've done and demonstrate your experience with the technologies that they're looking for in the job description. Hopefully, I've been able to show you how taking that extra time to prepare and think creatively about how to answer interview questions with passion and enthusiasm can really help you to stand out from all the other generic candidates. If you're enjoying these tips on how to use creativity to break into the tech industry, please drop a like on this video, as it definitely helps the channel grow, so drop a like now. The third way creativity can help you break into the tech industry is through how you approach your job search and applications. One of the key things you begin realizing when you start applying to entry-level tech jobs is that most employers now ask for 3 to 5 years of experience, even for jobs that are meant to be entry level. In a previous video on this channel, we talked about why employers have this requirement and what you can do as a beginner to overcome this. I'll link to that video at the end of this one. It's probably popping up on your screen right now. But to summarize, one of the ways you can get around this 3 to 5 year experience requirement is through building high quality projects. This is because when employers ask for 3 to 5 years of experience, what they really want to know is that if they hire you, will you be able to hit the ground running and begin solving problems immediately? Or will they have to spend a lot of time training and holding your hand and upskilling you? Training a new cloud engineer is expensive, and employers are generally not willing to take on this cost, which is why you as the beginner candidate need to take your own career into your own hands and upskill yourself. If you're on a training platform that will not only walk you through a well-structured learning plan, but will also show you how to build high-quality cloud projects, over 20, with technologies like Linux, AWS, Python, Terraform, CI/CD, Docker, and much more, then head over to cloudcareermentor.com and sign up now. Not only will you build the sort of high-quality projects that employers are looking for, but you will also be shown how to write about those projects on your resume in a way that attracts the attention of recruiters. You will also be shown how to interview in a way that impresses hiring managers. There's also a strong support structure as part of the program. For example, you'll be assigned to a mentor where you'll receive personalized one-to-one mentorship to give you the support, accountability, and encouragement that you need to be successful. If you want to build the skills that employers are looking for, even if you have zero technical experience, then go over to cloudcareermentor.com and sign up today. Let's continue our conversation on how you can use creativity in your job search and applications. After you build high-quality projects, it's important to look at creative ways to apply for jobs. Before I give you some of the creative ways that work, let's first talk about how most people apply for jobs. Most people only apply on job platforms like LinkedIn, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, whatever. Now, there's nothing wrong with this approach. In fact, this is exactly how I got my first job, simply by applying to a ton of adverts. But in today's competitive job market, it's important to stop and ask yourself if there's a creative way of doing things in addition to the normal generic way. For example, is it worth recording a video of you creating one of your projects and uploading it to YouTube and LinkedIn? The power of creating video like this is that you become more than just a resume. You become a real person. Recruiters will be able to get a sense of your personality and, importantly, see how you work and solve problems. This will put you above all the anonymous resumes that they receive every day. Another example of how you can use creativity in your job search was discovered by one of the students in my mentorship program. He had recently moved to the UK from Nigeria and, with no previous tech experience, wanted to build up his skills. He was finding it difficult to build up his experience, so what did he do? He set up a profile on a freelancer platform like Upwork and Fiverr. Pretty soon, he started getting customers on these platforms. Using what he had learned in my platform and on my program, he was soon building real projects for real clients and getting real reviews. These jobs helped him to build up his experience, which he was then able to leverage to receive 3 well-paid job offers. If you want to watch the interview I did with him, where he breaks down this strategy in a lot more detail, then click here. If you want to watch the video where we talk about why employers ask for 3 to 5 years of experience for entry-level roles and what you can do about it, then click here. If you find that you find it difficult to motivate yourself to study consistently, or that you find it difficult to find time to study amongst all of your other commitments, or you find yourself getting distracted every time you want to get some work done, then make sure you tune in next week, because I'll be dropping the best tech study motivation video on YouTube. And you definitely don't want to miss that. So hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're notified when that video drops. See you in the next one.